comes out. It's the changing harmony, but I'm shortcutting it. It's kind of like a changing zengo. That's the way you should think of it. This front foot is going to slide out laterally and turn my hips. So my harmony has changed 90 degrees in one tight turn. So he comes in, I'm deflecting, and I'm picking this up with L grip just north of the elbow. But notice where his elbow is. His elbow is in front of his hip. Don't drive it into his hip. It's just going to give him something to rotate on. However, if I get this right here in front of his hip, punching, right? Yeah, he has to go around. It allows me to put the brakes on and dictate when the next attack is coming. We'll get into that next. Okay? It's an ukenagaeshi that's just setting him off here, bang, right there. And I'm just, here's my harmony, I'm waiting, I'm in position, I'm ready for the next attack. It's a mote version of ukenagaeshi, followed by just an L grip just north of the elbow. Don't get him on the south of the elbow, he can just collapse that. We want control of the shoulder by controlling the elbow. Just like that. There. Okay, makes sense? Good. Any questions? Did you have a question?
You don't want it back in the way.
No, we're not looking for space here.
Space is my friend.
Yes, space would be an advantage. This is a problem. See, I can cut right back in and punch. I want to keep his shoulders faced the opposite direction. Believe it or not, space is not our friend here. This is what I want right here. Yeah. Yeah, we want to make sure that I'm controlling that distance. Okay, giving him too much space allows him to move and manipulate the space. Here, I have control of his shoulders. He can't turn his shoulders in, he can't punch me. Okay, very good question, very good point. Any other questions? Hidozo. Ready? Here it comes. How do I know? Because I have control of his elbow, which controls his shoulders. It's pushing against that because you have to punch. So how can we determine that I'm actually in control of how fast that second hand comes through? By releasing the elbow. Okay? Now you don't want to camp here, because if you stay here for more than a few seconds, they're either going to spin off, retreat, or you're going to start seeing side kicks. Okay? But you can't hold them there just for a second while you say, okay, wait, I'm ready there. Bang, there we go. And all I'm doing in this situation, right? Here's my position right here. This is unbendable arm. Okay? Kao Tsuki. What I'm going to do is I'm going to release my elbow. If you notice my elbow here, I could ukenagaeshi if I had to. Okay? This one's coming nice and straight, so I'm just clearing that out of the way. And my suriage is coming right up underneath this. Right? Yeah. Right.
I don't feel like I want to throw that second punch at all.
There's just our suriage right behind it. Okay? This is slow. Ready?
I haven't noticed that in 6 years, by the way, and now I'm like, yeah, I've been baited the whole time.
Hey, right there. Look, there it is. Okay?
Worst ukemi in the history of ukemi.
And it's tough, yes. As an uke, you're going to come flying through there, especially because you have all that power built up, and then all of a sudden it releases, and it's like spring loaded. Yeah. Bang! You have to be careful when you come through. Don't twist as you come through this way. You're going to be tempted to do that, and that's okay to anybody that you really want to injure, somebody that you're really trying to. It's okay out there, but in here we want Rod and Josh and Vlad and Tanwa. We want everybody to come back tomorrow, and taking a break fall from this type of attack, he's going to cartwheel me. So you have to be careful. In fact, you almost have to pull the punch a little bit. Still committed, but try to keep your center nice and even and pointed at that. Okay? Do you understand what I mean? Watch, in other words, when we're coming in here. Oh, right here. So, yep, exaggerated. Look at this. If I hit him with the iriminage from there, he's going to have to cartwheel to get out of it, or he's going to end up taking it this way. Do you understand what I mean? There's no way to take that fall gracefully. So he's going to pull his punch just a little bit so that he's nice and square, still in control. Does that make sense? Okay? Just a deflection up to this point. Any questions? Munedori, Kao Tsuki.
Sorry, could you show the deflection one more time? I just want
You bet. This angle?
That's fine.
Here's this deflection that we just did. The second one here. Look, I'm cutting up here, bang. There's my suriage. Right up the line. Okay? This should be just like if we were standing here, just like this. And he Kao Tsuki, right? Bang! There, it's the same position. I'm in the same position. Okay, so when he comes in here, oh, look, this is why we want to be, hold on a second, take 2 steps back. This way. Yeah, look, this is my command. I'm right back into position where I can deflect again. In, boom, right, I release, bang, there's my deflection. Make sense?
No, you just touched on it. We have ukenagaeshi suriage. Is it ukenagaeshi suriage again? Is that feeling, or is it release and just suriage?
No.
Or is it both?
When you release, always use that ukenagashi.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. Always keep that. You can drop your elbow on this, right? So let's go this way. Right? I can also drop my elbow on this and cut a really tight suriage.
Yeah.
But I would only ever do that if I saw his elbow down and really coiled in. He's going to come flying right at me. But if this arm is out at all, which chances are it's going to be, you don't know if it's coming around or straight through. So in that scenario here, I'm much better off raising this up. Oh, there we go. Look, now my ukenagaeshi, it covers both. Do you see what I mean?
Okay.
So you're better off releasing that. As you release that, just roll your elbow up. There's your ukenagaeshi. It's already there.
Okay.
And then you can pass that off to a suriage, or you can simply, which we're going to cover this in just a minute, you can simply use that ukenagaeshi as well. Does that make sense? So it's a little bit tighter with that ukenagaeshi because it's right there. Makes sense? Excellent question. Any other questions? Hey, so.
Unfortunately, I hate this.
It's so slow, really slow. Really slow. This is really quick. So really slow, smooth it out, and then blend everything so that it's nice and smooth. Then you can start picking up speed. This is tough on uke.
Zero commitment. This one sucks. You just let me do all the work here.
Yeah. I know you're breathing hard, sweating. I'm like,
I'm trying to stop my body from turning this way.
I don't think we need to do that full speed. You can see how much power and torque you have just at going
I'm
half
putting
speed.
nothing on that punch, and I still can't stop myself from going too far forward.
Any questions? Munedori, Kao Tsuki, iriminage. This is short form. Anytime we do Munedori with this entry would be considered short form. The long form, does anybody want to take a guess?
Yeah, it's
Soto kiri. Exactly. The soto kiri. Oh, sorry. Soto kiri. There we go. That would be long form. Okay, makes sense? Good. If you
soto kiri short form too.
yes, you can. Yeah, you can do short form this way as well, but you got to be careful. We don't have quite as much control on that.
Well, no, what I meant instead of ukenagaeshi and then control, you would do soto kiri and control, right?
Yeah, actually you could. Yep.
Like he goes to suriage.
And then everything else is the same after.
Yep. Yep. The short form usually just means we're staying in control on the first position. Ready? First position, just outside the elbow. Okay, to the outside, just outside the elbow. Okay. Excellent. Excellent points. Any questions? Hey, Dozo.
John. Tomo-san.
So, here, ukenagaeshi. Ukenagaeshi on this one. I'm not going to suriage, I'm going to ukenagaeshi on this one. Here. Again. Same entry. Here. Look at that. Okay, I'm in position for it ahead of time. Let's see, let's go this way. This is hard to see because we're covering 90-degree angles, so you either get a good view of one half of it or a good view of the other. So here, right here, instead of using the suriage hand, I'm bringing my elbow up ukenagaeshi. Here, as that ukenagaeshi is coming forward, I'm just stepping back into it and into shikaku no kuma. And there it is. Okay? Keep your elbow high. If your elbow's low on this, you can come right over the top. He's going to crack you one. Here, watch, elbow low. Bang! There it is right there. He can nail that. Here, elbow high. Here, it cuts off in, for some reason, that shrinking window. The same way people will track you, they'll try to stuff a punch in there, and that's exactly what we want. We're baiting him.
That's not every single time too.
That's good. Just that far. Okay? Everything's set up, everything should be in place as long as you're doing this correctly. Here, bang. Let's go this way here. Right. Yeah, let's go 45-degree angle. So, okay. This way. Right here, look. Right here, all I'm going to do is rotate my L grip. I still have control of this. Notice he's still crossed up. There, step back, bang. Okay? Right. Any questions? Hey, Dozo.
Tomo-san.
Hold.
Oh.
I noticed. So here, ukenagaeshi. So kotegaeshi. Everything's happening around me. He's actually fully committed, coming all the way around me. You don't need to move as much as you think you need to move. Remember, I'm the center of the technique. He's moving around. It shouldn't be the other way around. What I'm talking about is this type of thing here. See, he's the middle of the technique, right? I want to make sure I'm the middle of the technique and he's moving around me. There, he's coming out around and then looping right back in. My movements are really tight. Mine too. This one? Sure. No. Oh! Oh no, that's it.
Oh, yeah, we switched.
That was the other side.
From here, see where he's landed? Nice and tight off my side center. One step, watch. Right to me. Okay, one step. Driving the elbow through. I'm not trying to pull him with the wrist, I'm just driving the elbow through. Here, ready? One step and elbow. I'm bringing his wrist to the inside of my knee, lower than my knee. Here. But the power is actually the elbow. Driving that through, okay? Make sense? I'm sorry. Any questions?
Just a quick question. Down south, the other dojo, they get all hung up. If you're doing kotegaeshi, that finger's on that knuckle, this hand comes around, that finger's on the other knuckle, that comes around, because you're so tight, you don't have to get obsessed about that, right? You can pick it up, two thumbs on each knuckle, you can pick it up on the wrist, you can pick it up on the elbow, it's not that big a deal, right?
Okay, so the way we do kotegaeshi is fairly unique.
Yep.
Our kotegaeshi is more about the elbow than it is about the wrist.
All right.
Whenever you get kotegaeshi, and what he's talking about is the traditional Aikido kotegaeshi, where they grab the meaty part of the thumb here, and they put a thumb in between the two middle fingers, and then they roll it this way, and they throw into kotegaeshi. Okay, there's nothing wrong with this traditional, this is where it all comes from, but it also takes into account that you're wearing armor, or that you have these big beefy wrists that don't move. The problem with this is guys that have play in their wrists, like flexible wrists, it creates a lot of play. Here, if you notice, there's a lot of movement in here. So as we come around here, look, he's just flattening this out, straightening, do that to me. If you do this to Colin, the first thing he does is just relax and straightens his elbow.
As he's bashing him in the face.
And then this drops down into your kotegaeshi, finish your kotegaeshi, and he's just wailing on you if you notice you don't have any torque there. It's specifically why we don't do it that way. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way, we just don't do it like that. We don't mess with this. There's too much play in here and too much manipulation. So we come over the top and get the wrist. And I use the two bones of the wrist to torque against each other. See what it does to the elbow? Now, once I get to the elbow to the inside, I'm just cutting this right over the top. I can use this here, I can hit it here, it doesn't matter. All I need to do is get this wrist, and the way I've put this before, and I don't know how clear this is, but see where his elbow is, this point in space? I drop my elbow, it clears out of that spot. I want to put his wrist through that spot where his elbow just was. So it's all torque, it's all on the elbow. We call it kotegaeshi, which is wrist turnout in Japanese. This is very little, has very little to do with the wrist. This has to do with the forearm and the elbow. And it's just our variation. It doesn't mean that anybody else is doing anything wrong. This is just the way we do it. In our world of functional Aikido, Bushikan Aikido, this is the most effective way we could find to do it. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Excellent question. Did I answer your question? Good. Any other questions?
So the way I see it is the elbow is a must, and then if you can add a wrist, it just helps.
Yes. We have a rule, he who controls the elbows wins, and most of the time, if I control your elbow, I can control your shoulder. So I can dictate not only where you're going to punch, but a lot of times which direction you're going in. Now, if you notice, I can get him to turn simply by dropping my elbow. If I get a nice Lego grip over the top here with this really deep, and I have a grip on those two bones right there, just dropping my elbow is going to shift his center to the outside. There. Now I can simply step right in here and drop that. And there's our kotegaeshi. So it makes it less movement. It's just about bang. It's one natural motion. And there's a ton of torque there. Excellent with him. Do you see what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Did I answer your question?
Just confirming.
Yeah.
And Sensei,
Yep.
I know you always bring this up, we have our hip in there too, which is another factor.
Yeah, okay, so this is one other thing, and we usually save this for the Dan levels, but if you notice, so you can funakogi here, we use 3 points. If you imagine I'm standing here, imagine a triangle on the ground, I'm standing in the middle of the triangle, okay? A lot of traditional Aikido uses this first point, and that's all they throw off from. We use all 3 points of the triangle, which we refer to these other points as side center. So just the same way you can funakogi-ichi into front center and then throw here with all your power down on top of front center, we use that the same way on side center. So we can shift funakogi-ichi, funakogi-ni, funakogi, look, it's like a Hawaiian dance. Is that right?
Sure.
Does it work?
You know it's on camera, right? Yeah, sure is.
Oh, we'll edit that out. Okay. So, do you understand what I mean? So what we're doing here is we're closing the distance. Someone can take a step back if they're quick enough, or if they know what's coming, they can take a step back on kotegaeshi and try to restabilize. They won't like it because it's probably going to pop their elbow out, but we can prevent all of that from happening by closing the distance with our hips, right? So, straight kotegaeshi. Yeah, let's go.
Thank you.
Okay, straight here, just like this, bang, look. Now this creates a space right here. So if I drop in here, there's a space right here. What I really want is I want to cut over this, not around it. So what I'll do is as I step in here, I'll shift funakogi-ichi there. Now I'm dropping right down on top of it and making this tight. From out here, cutting this, there's a little bit of play in here sideways, but here, there's none. Do you see what I mean? And all I'm doing is as I'm stepping in on that final step, instead of just stepping forward on it, I'm stepping in and setting my hip to the inside. It's almost like a funakogi-ichi, but to the side center. Okay, does that make sense? At the same time, most of the time, you can't just step that deep, because the way we move them, uke is going to end up bent in a C. This way, with their hip jammed with their elbow. They end up this way, so I can't step straight in there. So what you can do is step right behind it, go side center on that, throw that, and it's a nice tight throw. It's like koshi, right? And it's not, anybody who's done koshi, they'll know as soon as they step into that, throw that, oh, this feels like koshi. Well, yeah, because almost everything we do is that koshi. We use our side center so much. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's a very good point.
Yeah, because that was a big deal for me, because I could pull my arm out of a lot of the other ones, because like you said, I probably will hurt my elbow, but if they stop for a second, I have that moment. I don't have a moment like this. I'm too fixated on top